Danielle Cook, and I want to welcome you to Cooking with the Cook Sisters, brought to you by the United States Botanic Garden. We're so happy to be with you regularly to offer online cooking demonstrations and home garden tips. Today, we have a luscious fall dessert. And we'll find the other cook sister, Adrienne, in her garden, where she'll share some tips on extending the fall harvest. So let's get started. Begin by making your crust. Break your hard ginger snaps into a food processor and let the machine do the rest of the work. Melt your butter in the microwave. Add your flour to your cookie crumbs and then add the melted butter. You want the crust to resemble wet sand. Line an 8x8-inch baking pan with parchment paper and then press the ginger snap crust evenly in the bottom of the pan. Set the pan aside while you prepare the cheesecake. Have all your ingredients at room temperature. Whip the cream cheese with the light brown sugar. Add your eggs one at a time, beating really well in between each to make your cream cheese really light and fluffy. Next, add your pumpkin puree and your sour cream. And then we're going to add ginger, pumpkin pie spice, and vanilla. Pumpkin pie spice is made up of nutmeg, allspice, cloves, and cinnamon, those wonderful fall warming spices. And now the filling goes into the crust and the cheesecake bars go into the oven. Bake at 325 degrees for 30 minutes. Making homemade caramel is not as hard as you think. You make it in a heavy bottom saucepan, and it's important the saucepan be very clean before you start. Put your sugar in the saucepan and over medium to low heat, let it melt. Give it a swirl every 20 seconds or so and keep a close eye on it as it browns. As soon as the last of the sugar is melted, be ready to pull the caramel off the heat. Add your butter. It's gonna bubble like crazy, but don't worry, you're doing it right. Just keep stirring until it's well incorporated and thick. Yum, look at that. A little cream comes next. And again, stir until well incorporated. It's not salted caramel without a little salt. Your caramel needs to cool completely before you can use it. And now let's check on our cheesecake. Beautiful. It looks golden and set. Turn the oven off and let the cheesecake sit another 20 minutes with the door ajar. Once out of the oven and completely cool, you're ready to cut your cheesecake. Transfer the bars to a serving platter and drizzle with the cooled caramel just before you're ready to serve. It's going to be difficult to keep little hands off these delicious bars. And now let's go find Adrienne in her garden.
Hi, I'm Adrienne. Welcome to my garden. This may look like laundry day, but what it is it's going to help our tomato plants get through a chilly winter night. I'm just not ready to say goodbye to this beautiful mature tomato plant, but an overnight frost can kill the plant and seriously damage the fruit. That's why we're going to protect it. First, we pick the ripe tomatoes. A frost occurs at 32 degrees or below. Old sheets, towels, or light blankets are ideal for covering up tender annuals. Basil is another tender annual that's very susceptible to frost. I'm going to protect my potatoes. The longer the plants can grow, the bigger the potatoes will get. A frost typically lasts 1 or maybe 2 nights at the most, and then the covers can come off and the plants can keep growing. Hardy greens don't need protection from frost. They need a different kind of protection. Because they grow well into winter, it's the freezing and thawing that can get to them. A heavy mulch will provide them with plenty of insulation. Tucked under a thick blanket of straw, these plants will come back again next spring.
Thanks for joining us today. Come back next week for more flavors of fall.